A new horizon is quickly approaching us. As the current gen consoles slowly phase out, the next generation is being set up. Just like I'm setting up each and every sentence perfectly with the script that I wrote, that I totally don't sound like I'm reading off of. I mean, sure, the sources I'm gonna bring into this video aren't actual statements made by the company themselves, and all of it's just rumors and bullshit I'm gonna feed you, so I can artificially extend this video to 10 minutes long so I can make some money off of a few dumbass people who don't know any better. Anyway, I just learned how to do 3 chords and I'm very proud of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and play that for you right now. Do you remember when I told you that console peasants and console fanboys have a tendency to block you because they're simply too afraid to debate you or argue with you? Some of them say, nah, Frit, it's just because you're an annoying asshole who gets on people's asses over minuscule little things that don't matter. Which is honestly, I mean, it's not a lie. I'm an asshole. And I mean, let's face it, there's more money and growth to be made lying to people and feeding them bullshit. The truth simply isn't all that marketable, because when Xbox fanboys or PlayStation fanboys click on a video, they don't want to hear things like, oh, you know, remain skeptical, take it all with a grain of salt. No, they don't want to hear that. What they want to hear is, but alas, sadly, Papa Frit is cursed with this one thing that all these pro Xbox and pro PlayStation channels don't have: integrity. And what sucks more is that having integrity is seen as being some sort of asshole. Oh my god, Papa Frit, you've been ranting for like a minute. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's turn our attention to Twitter real quick, shall we? For those of you who don't know, I was banned off Twitter by JTech.
I'm gay.
Because I reported him for sexual harassment, but Twitter took his side over mine. It doesn't make any sense. I guess Twitter isn't as woke as they make themselves out to be, if they're choosing the side of a sexual harasser. But anyway, here's Papa Frit's new Twitter. If you want to see this for yourself, go follow me. Let's see how long that lasts. After seeing Papa Top Hat's latest video on Colt Eastwood, I had to make my own. I had to. What do you want me to do? Be a nice guy on the internet that talks about games he likes? Shit's gay. Now, I was doing some research on Colt Eastwood, looking back at his older videos. Oh, God. When I had stumbled across one of Gundam's videos responding to Colt Eastwood, and something caught my attention in that video, specifically this part of the video.
Power of the X's CPU and memory bandwidth speed over the Pro, transitions and loading will feel natural and instantaneous.
Can't wait for this shit to come out when the goddamn game does not instantaneously... What the fuck? Does the Xbox One X now have an SSD in it?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
As you can imagine, hearing someone from 2017 saying that the Xbox One X would have almost instantaneous load times, I thought to myself, if he was saying that back in 2017, how the hell should anyone trust him? So being the asshole that I was, I decided I'd go to Twitter and just make this tweet. You know, you can never trust Colt Eastwood when he claimed the Xbox One X would have instantaneous load times. I kid you not, I went back and looked, and yes, he made that claim. At that point, Colt Eastwood did the unthinkable. He decided, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and defend my integrity for once. Which backfired because he had none to begin with. Link me to that claim. And so in the time that I went to go fetch this clip so I could show him to his fucking face that he did indeed say the stupid thing, you had Colt's, no pun intended, Colt come in demanding for this evidence, thinking that I couldn't back it up, that their Lord and Savior Colt Eastwood, he wouldn't lie to them, he wouldn't say something that stupid. Well, let's just say none of them were willing to defend him the minute they saw that clip. It was just nothing but pure silence with maybe 1 or 2 naysayers. Now to you, the audience, watching this video, you're thinking to yourselves, well damn, there it is. I mean, I guess Colt did say it. Colt did the stupid thing. I guess he's gonna be a man and own up to his mistakes, you know? He's not gonna, you know, be a dumbass about it. No. Colt doubles down, actually. Transitions and loading will feel natural and instantaneous. Feel, wow, you that bothered you? Transitions out of doors and passageways in games will no longer be held back by conventional HDD bandwidth. Nice try. That guy used a 7 GB 11-year-old game to prove PC load times, LOL. I know, don't say it yet, don't say it, you caught it. And that's exactly why I love all of you guys so much, and why the Fritanga fanbase has the largest fucking dicks in the world. We get the most pussy, bitch. It's because you guys are clever. You guys can see the inconsistencies, and you guys can tell right away. Just like I can. And I don't even feel like I'm intelligent. I think I'm just some asshole who makes videos and jerks off to hentai. But even I can see right through Colt Eastwood's bullshit, no matter how nice he smothers his videos with fancy words and scripts. It's tweets like this that give away the fact that Colt Eastwood is just so full of shit. See, the best defense Colt has for himself here is semantics. Well, I didn't really technically say it that way. Bullshit. You made a stupid claim and you didn't own up to it. But then it just gets even more weird here, okay? Because Colt Eastwood then follows it by retweeting the original tweet of mine and saying, "This claim was about the upcoming Xbox Series X, not Xbox One X. He didn't watch the video, as per usual. He just watched someone that clipped one part of my video. I said the new console load times and transitions will feel instantaneous. Clout chasers." What the fuck? Colt, baby doll, Colt, listen here. The video I clipped, it's from 2017. So no, you weren't talking about the Xbox Series X. You were talking about the Xbox One X. You were telling people it was going to have instantaneous load times in games, which it didn't. None of the information you had at the time was reliable or confirmed. You were doing what you're doing now at the Xbox Series X. You were going around and you were telling people it was going to have this, this, and this. It was going to be worth this, this, and this. And when none of that came into fruition, or just some of it came into fruition, you still said Xbox delivered on their promises. So as you can imagine, when I realized that he was talking about the Xbox Series X, then I began to question, is Colt Eastwood a time traveler? Did he know about the Xbox Series X and what it would do back in 2017? So of course I had to bring the date of relevancy up to him, and once he saw this, he'd think, oh, you know, now he's going to admit he was wrong. Now he's going to admit, right? Because it was just a misunderstanding. He thought you were referring to a video of his talking about the Xbox Series X, right? Well, Colt's initial response was essentially, oh, well then who cares? That was forever ago. The Xbox One X was supposed to have a 7200 RPM drive back then. That was the report from the hardware lead. Why are you bringing this up now?
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony! That's right, a phony lives here! A big fat phony!
This little response right here, no, not that specifically, right there, yeah. Well then who cares? That basically summarizes everything wrong with Colt Eastwood's channel. He doesn't care if he's wrong. He doesn't. What matters are the rumors at the time and how hot they are, not how reliable or how legit they are. For Colt, it's all about the thumbnails. It's all about the titles. It's all about catching people's attention. This tweet right here basically proves the guy has no integrity. And it's quite disturbing that he admitted it. And it's great because a lot of people called him out on that. It means you lied. Indeed, Colt. It means you lied. But hold on. You see, Colt, he's not the type of guy to really take criticism lightly. Because he had another response to me bringing up the fact that the clip was from 2017. Worry about your own channel and stop stalking people. Stay off the drama nonsense. You'll find more success and people will enjoy your content without it. That's the last time I'll give you that advice. Listen this time. Yes, so sound advice from Colt Eastwood, everybody. Just lie to your audience, bullshit them. Never seek the truth. Only go with the flow of the rumors and the hype, and continuously disappoint your audience by telling them, hey, things are gonna be really good over here on Xbox. Because that's all Colt has at this point. I mean, when the guy has resorted to bragging about controller sales, yes, controller sales, you know something's wrong with the Xbox brand. You know they're starving and they're thirsty for things. Come on, bro. You're mistaken big time. Colt Eastwood has been a trusted source for gaming news alongside other positive content creators like, I don't know who the fuck this is, Dealer Gaming, BitCloud Gaming. This is a form of slander, if anything. I hope you're joking. Do I look like I'm joking to you? Does anything within my statement remotely embody the essence of a joke?
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to fucking amuse you? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
This is a form of slander, and it's been happening to the Xbox community for years now. You ponies and mustard race extremists only promote negativity. My channel video rating average is 95%. I don't care what people with cognitive dissonance think of my channel or content.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people who like Colt Eastwood. They are presented with evidence of Colt Eastwood saying stupid things that weren't true, okay? But Colt's following, it keeps growing. And you know what? Hey, good for you, Colt. I like seeing people's channels be healthy, and I like seeing people's channels grow. But what I don't like seeing, continuously feeding a fan base nothing but shit, and getting them hyped for empty promises. By now, you could tell that I'm showing you white screenshots that don't have dark mode. And the reason for that is because immediately after this whole back and forth exchange, Colt Eastwood blocked me on Twitter, thus ending my opening point about Colt Eastwood and other types like him trying to avoid having a debate or discussion or argument as much as possible, because when the time comes, they get trounced. Trounced. This is why they stay away from me. But okay, it's not the only reason why. I'll admit there's a side of me that's really quite an asshole. But that shouldn't really stop someone from being able to shut me down if they have the facts on their side, which Colt never does. All he has are rumors and speculation. That's all he has. And the end result never lives up to any of that hype. It's why people are pretty wary of the Xbox brand. But enough of that now. That was probably the longest intro / explanation. Because you didn't actually think I was gonna leave you off with just a little bit of Twitter beef that happened, did you? No, of course not. We got a full Colt Eastwood video to respond to on top of that. And I am responding to it mainly because I couldn't help but notice Top Hats responded to it. And seeing as how the PC Master Race content is dry right now, I needed to put it on. And it reinvigorated me. It reminded me why I love doing these types of videos. Because holy shit, there's so much to go over here. I know you guys are ready to just beat your meats to this video, you know? I bet some of you already started. I bet the jizz is all over the monitor screen, you know? Hope you guys cleaned up, sanitation wipes. But I'm gonna need you to hold it back just a little because we still got a bit to go. So the video in question is Biggest Xbox Series X Lies and Myths Debunked and Gaming Media Exposed. Microsoft Console Price and Power. Well, here we go. We got Colt Eastwood, you know, not paid by Microsoft, as far as I know. Because if he was, he'd have to disclose that. Here he is, defending the lies levied against Microsoft. And I'm gonna put lies in quotation marks because, I mean, he doesn't really do a proper job of debunking much.
The Xbox platform is currently in third place behind the massively successful PlayStation 4 and the even faster selling Nintendo Switch.
I just want to point out that the Xbox brand has just barely managed to be able to hold that third place. And they're about to lose it in about a year to the Nintendo Switch, which hasn't even been on the market all that long. Mind you, the Xbox One came out in 2013. 2013, and is hovering around 41 million units sold, where the Switch is at 38 million. If that's not eye-opening to you, Colt, then I don't know what is. When you realize that the PlayStation 4 is over 100 million units sold, and the Switch is quickly about to surpass the Xbox lifetime numbers, and less than half of the Xbox One's lifetime, that third place quickly becomes a joke.
Microsoft didn't give up with the Xbox One and set in place new studios, new games lineup, and a whole new console that shook the gaming world with an entire year before the next console generation begins.
Gotta give credit where credit is due. Microsoft they did their best to make up for the Xbox One abysmal launch. I mean, you have to do a lot more than what they're doing to make up for it, but I mean, at least they're trying.
With a few years of Xbox stumbling, games missing the mark, there are a slew of misconceptions and myths that have the masses assuming that Xbox Series X and the Xbox platform are due to repeat the fails of the Xbox One.
Did you hear that bullshit? Did you hear that bullshit? Colt seems to think that the only problems with the Xbox were that it had a few rough years, aka the entire console's lifespan, and that, it just had, some, bad games here and there. Yeah, but other than that, it was a fine brand. Holy shit, I'm gonna need the biggest fucking bong rip. Oh, fuck.
Winners don't do drugs.
This is Colt Eastwood. Welcome to the channel. If you're here, you're likely from one of two camps. One, you want to see what the truth really is about the next Xbox and how so many have it wrong. Or two, you've never really believed in the Xbox brand and you want to be vilified for your gripes and complaints about the direction of Microsoft's console platform.
Believe me, Colt, I'm not here for the truth, so don't worry, I'm not in the first camp. And I'm not really in the second camp either, because I do want to see Xbox succeed, and I want to see people get a good product. But I love the way you painted out that propaganda. I love it. See, that shit right there, Colt? I love that shit you do. I love how you only paint two possible positions to have. There's no middle ground here.
But be warned, this is an Xbox-centric channel.
You don't say. You don't say.
So I put a considerable amount of effort in finding out what the truth is behind these common myths and misconceptions.
Colt, the most amount of research I have ever seen you do is watching a Digital Foundry video and then completely misrepresenting what was said. So sure, you may go out and look for the truth, but what are you really looking for, Colt? Are you looking for answers you like? Because look, I'm all for the positive vibes, but sometimes I want to know the complete information made available, not just what sounds nice. A little dose of skepticism can go a long way.
I know it's easy these days with PlayStation and Nintendo striking gold to assume that Xbox hasn't got something good in store for their fans, but we are going to clear all of that today. But first, hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you appreciate this content, and let's debunk some ridiculous claims for the Xbox Series X.
This motherfucker is asking us to subscribe and to like his video before it has even finished. Holy shit. I'll tell you what though, guys. 14 minutes into my video, I'm gonna approve. You guys can go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. It's way fucking better anyway.
Xbox has no games.
That's not a myth. That's a fact.
This is the most common misconception because the Xbox shares its first-party exclusives with Microsoft's PC platform. In actuality, the claim of no games on Xbox keyed in on the very few exclusives the Xbox One hosted from 2013 to 2018. While PlayStation was leading with top-rated games, the Xbox brought new games such as Ice Boy and Remedy's obligatory bullet time game, Quantum Break, and poor man's Nier Automata as
What? Oh, has he said anything yet? No? Okay, well, I'm just gonna go back to sleep if that's okay with you.
late. In 2018, Xbox Game Studios had been bolstered up with Ninja Theory working on Bleeding Edge, Hellblade 2, and the all-new Project Mara. Rare had just showcased Everwild, an open-world mystical new IP with all the charm brought on by Rare's 30-plus years in gaming, and recently Phil Spencer stopped by the Initiative Studio to get his hands on their first game for Xbox. This is the team that is led by Daryl Gallagher, the mind and talent behind
One eternity later.
And that brings us to our next misconception.
Wait, what? That was it. All you did was go over a list of developers and studios Microsoft is attaining and working with. Okay, I was enjoying my nap, you motherfucker, okay? I actually thought you were going to make a point. I thought you were actually going to debunk the myth, okay? I actually thought you were going to say, hey, look, okay, so the games are on PC too. So, you know, I mean, they're only on Xbox if you want the console version, you know, but, you know, I actually thought you were going to at least go that way, but you didn't do shit. I'm actually pretty upset I let you ramble on for 2 minutes and I didn't even insert one meme. That's how boring that whole segment was. Is this a advertisement for Microsoft and what they're doing, or is this a video debunking myths about the Xbox brand? I can't tell anymore.
No next-gen exclusives for 2 years.
2 years? Bitch, it ain't gonna have exclusives at all. All of its games are going to PC. And also, Colt, nobody's saying that the Xbox isn't going to have exclusives for 2 years. People have been saying it's not going to have next generation exclusives for 2 years. Because the primary focus within those 2 years will be shifting the Xbox One community over to the Xbox Series X. But that's not going to be easy to do if the games coming out on the Xbox Series X are also coming out on the Xbox One.
It seems every time a Microsoft executive speaks up about the future of Xbox, the media and fanboys run with an easy headline to downplay the intentions for Xbox. Matt Booty, the head of Game Studios, told the media that for the first 1 to 2 years, they would release all of their first-party content on the new console and the Xbox One console. Microsoft has promised to keep the Xbox One console from being left behind for the first 1 to 2 years, with a handful of games that have been developed before the generation ended. The transition into next generation is much easier, in fact, with the plan for developers to build the game for the highest denomination, which is on PC, and scale all the way down to the PS4 and Xbox One if they choose. In fact, next generation, I think we may see a 50-50 split of third-party developers choosing to release their games that play on both new generation and last generation consoles. What the media and others did not focus to headline from Matt Booty was that Xbox Series X gamers will get the absolute best version possible on the most powerful hardware in next generation on PC or the Xbox Series X.
Oh, okay, Colt. That's it then, huh? I guess your personal feelings that it's going to be 50-50 is enough to debunk that claim, right? I mean, that's all you had to do. I mean, if the original myth was truly that the Xbox won't have any exclusives for 2 years, then yeah, congratulations, you debunked the myth. But we all know that's not what was really said. But also, let's be real here, these are not mainstream myths or rumors. This is stuff you've been seeing on Twitter from nobodies. People who are just trolling you, Colt. It's blatantly obvious what those people are saying, and you're just presenting it in a bad faith manner. People are telling you there isn't going to be an Xbox Series X system seller. There isn't going to be any sort of exclusive software attached to it at launch that you can't get on the Xbox One, which is true. All you're doing is backing up that supposed myth.
The PS5 is more powerful.
This isn't even a myth. Nobody knows which system will be more powerful. All we have are supposed leaks, okay? We don't have official benchmarks. We don't have the official hardware on us. So this isn't a myth. But I know this is the one that personally riles you up the most because you don't like the idea of PlayStation having the power edge. Because, I mean, in every other department, Sony's basically kicking Microsoft's ass in terms of console units sold, games sold, revenue from services, reviews on games. The one thing you have is power.
One thing that we've learned, especially this entire generation, is that power matters.
It didn't seem to matter to the Xbox early on in the generation. What was it that you guys were touting? Resolution and frame rate isn't everything. On top of that, somehow the power of the cloud was going to correct all of the Xbox One flaws. Jesus Christ, time has really passed by, hasn't it?
It mattered in great deal to the PS4 the first 3 years, and until the PS4 Pro was released, it still continued to matter.
I like how he puts a stupid comment by Sony right there, but I can equally find one just as stupid from Microsoft. What was it? Highest quality pixels?
These are the highest quality pixels that anybody has seen.
Frame rates and resolutions we've never seen before.
It's going to usher in resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before. Like, never seen before.
You lie! You lie!
Power mattered even as the Xbox One X was released in 2017, and the PS4 was at a disadvantage for power. The massive majority of gamers understand that almost all of their games are shared across multiple platforms, and having the most power to make the games you love look and play the best is important. So power comes back into equation as a deal breaker.
So power comes back into equation as a deal breaker. Really, Cole? Really? Did that stop you from getting the Xbox One when it launched? Did it? Does it stop people from getting lower end graphics cards? Or the slim model of the PS4? Or the Xbox One S? Because let me tell you one thing, Colt. People aren't choosing the Switch over the Xbox One because it's more powerful. I mean, come on.
Several months ago, some insider leaks and supposed devs were claiming that the PS5 dev kit was more powerful than the Xbox Series X dev kit.
But they weren't correct, because the leaks of people that I like and leaks I like said otherwise.
We haven't heard a single word or claim from Sony that the PS5 is the most powerful. What we have heard multiple times is that Xbox is claiming to be the benchmark and the most powerful and fastest console, and they plan to hold that title for another 3 years, until Sony makes the PS5 Pro.
What? That's it then? That's what you're going to use to debunk the claim? You're going to use Microsoft's word. Okay, yeah, sure, because Microsoft's word is good enough, right? If resolutions we've never seen before, or frame rates we've never seen before, or highest quality pixels, or the Xbox One and the Kinect can't be separated, or the power of the cloud is going to make your games look and run better. If any of those empty promises are anything to go by, then I'm going to go ahead and say, nah, that's not good enough, Colt. Give me some fucking evidence. Give me some benchmarks.
Xbox has outright said there will not be a mid-generation console this time around. Obviously, to experts and market leaders, the Xbox Series X is going to be the most powerful and most expensive. PS5 wins in price at $100 cheaper until Microsoft introduces the Xbox Lockhart Series S. I've got a video all about that as well. It'll also be linked at the end of the video.
Again, that's just going off of Microsoft's word, which, as we know by now, isn't worth shit.
But expect a 12 teraflop Xbox versus a 8 to 10 teraflop PS5. But most importantly, expect every single third-party game and Xbox title to look and run better than the competition on console.
Here, you know what, Colt? Here, let me, here. There's a box of tissues. Clean up when you're done jerking off. You debunked the myth of PS5 being more powerful based off of Microsoft's word alone and TFLOP count. You're not going to wait for the PS5 to even be unveiled. We're just going to, let's expect it, I guess. Myth debunked.
Oh yeah, and speaking of price, Xbox Series X is going to be $600 or $800.
Holy shit, that's not a myth either, Colt. That's just oh my god, it's just speculation. This hurts. Oh.
The Xbox Series X is a Zen 2 Navi-based next-generation console with 16 total gigs of RAM and housed in a PC-like case tailor-made for dissipating heat that comes from a 2 GHz clock machine. It looks expensive, and it is expensive. Breaking down the components by their PC desktop counterparts, pricing them at wholesale bulk distribution, and marking up for retail, blah blah blah, the Xbox Series X comes in at around $1,500 for a consumer desktop PC.
Hey, Cole, I have one question. If we don't know what type of GPU is going in there or its equivalent, how the hell are you coming up with a final price point?
But in the console space, on an assembly line for millions of units in the first year, the Xbox Series X is quite obviously a $500 machine. A few components throw a curveball into the more expensive territory like this SSD, but the semi-custom parts make consoles subsidized for consumers at around $400 to $500. The only doubts experts and analysts have at this time is if PS5 will match the Xbox in price at $500 or have Sony take a loss to launch the PS5 at $400. But it's very clear that Microsoft wants the Xbox to retail at $500.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Microsoft is the one that's supposedly selling you a $1,500 system for $500. And they're not also taking a loss? Because I can guarantee you right now, Microsoft is most certainly going to take a bigger loss than Sony. Because if people look at the other console and see that it can also do 8K, also do 120 frames a second, also has an SSD, but it's $100 cheaper, and it does most of what the other system can do, they're probably going to go for the PS5.
And if that wasn't enough to convince you, Mark Cerny of PlayStation and Phil Spencer,
both massive liars,
both said that the new consoles won't be out of line for pricing in consoles in 2020.
The fact that they're going to be affordable still makes me quite skeptical that they're going to be the $1,500 powerhouses that were being promised. Aren't you a little you know what? I'm not even going to ask if you're skeptical, Colt. For you, Microsoft can do no wrong. Fuck it, get to the next point. I am so done.
More the same.
That's also not a myth, and also that's levied against next generation consoles in general, not just the Xbox Series X.
This quote is directly pulled from Platinum Games studio head Atsushi Naba, who dropped the ball on Scalebound in 2017. Platinum Games has made some high-clip, fast-paced games like Bayonetta and Nier Automata, but they also specialize in making new games that look a generation behind. So it's ironic for Platinum to say that the next generation will be more of the same.
So, because the games they make don't graphically look that impressive, we can just dismiss their thoughts. So then, by that token, can we just now say that whatever Microsoft says, we can just discard? Because look at Crackdown 3, it looks like absolute garbage. Look at Bleeding Edge, absolute garbage. Look at Recore, absolute garbage. Therefore, whatever Microsoft says, we can just discard it now. I'm just using your logic. I mean, that's how it works, right?
Everyone else, even graphics leaders like EA with the Frostbite engine, are claiming that games on Xbox Series X will be, quote, mind-blowing.
You know, Cole, I really don't give a fuck what corporate heads have to say, okay? Of course they're going to sell you on the premise of the next-gen consoles. They're not going to tell you that they'll suck. And as for that quote by Platinum Games, I find it very interesting that you didn't bring up what else they said. Merely just the one thing that offended you, more of the same. Because that's not the thing console fanboys want to hear. Now, what Platinum Games said was, it's okay, and by that I mean I'm sure things will move faster, graphics will be better, and maybe it will be easier with less wait times. That's good for the consumers. But quite frankly, it's more of the same compared to previous generations. It's nothing that's disruptive or super innovative if you ask me. It's hard to get excited about stuff that kind of already exists, but has been repurposed to a certain degree. In other words, what he's saying is that he doesn't find what's in the consoles all that impressive because it already exists. That's not saying that the consoles aren't going to be impressive. It's just more of what we have now. And that in of itself is not a myth. It's true. These consoles aren't going to have groundbreaking technology. They're going to finally be updated to what PCs have now. SSDs, ray tracing, Zen 2. And that is not necessarily innovative, is it?
Hardware accelerated ray tracing, super fast loading times nearly eliminated, and high frame rates at 60 and above as a standard literally spells out that games on Xbox Series X will not be more of the same. In fact, another angle for this quote is that Xbox failed to make new compelling IPs or enough first-party games for the Xbox One that they would continue to not deliver games for the Xbox Series X.
What? How was that another angle from that quote? That quote wasn't directed just at the Xbox brand. That quote was directed at both the PlayStation and the Xbox. They were saying that it's more of the same. Next gen is going to be more of the same. How the hell did you extract that and think to yourself, looks like they're attacking Xbox because Xbox didn't have a lot of good games? In order to have formed that thought, you must be very insecure about what other people say about Xbox.
A cursory list for the next generation is Fable, Forza, Gears, Hellblade, Flight Simulator, Crossfire X, State of Decay 3, Everwild, and brand new IPs and games from Double Fine, Compulsion, and Global Publishing.
What? He literally took that as an opportunity to just list the amount of games that are going to be developed for the Xbox brand. And he was just jerking himself off. Oh yeah, all those IPs. Just you wait, PlayStation.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh?
But once again, I just love it how that quote was directed at both the PlayStation and the Xbox. But Colt went quickly to defend the Xbox if you noticed. He said, no, the Xbox won't be more of the same. Did you hear him say that for PlayStation? Did you hear him say, no, PlayStation itself also won't be more of the same? No. You heard him say it just for Xbox. Isn't that interesting? It's almost as if everything he hears is a personal attack against Xbox, and that's all he's going to put his attention on. Jesus Christ, Colt.
I've got one more myth that needs to be debunked. Xbox is not competing with Sony and Nintendo. Well, this is true.
Oh, so you accept that it's true? Okay, well good, that my job here is done. No fucking way am I going to sit through another 5 minutes of your garbage video. Fuck that. If that's where you choose to end it with the last myth, I'm okay with that. We don't have to go any further. But to those of you who are curious, essentially Colt jerks off Microsoft about building some global empire where they're no longer attached to just a console and they're going to be a service on multiple platforms or whatever, and now they're mightier than Sony and they're too good for Sony and Sony's stuck with consoles. Essentially more jerking off Microsoft and not getting paid for it. This video says a lot to me, honestly. What it tells me is that the Xbox brand is not in a good place. That was obvious at the launch of the console. It's a lot more obvious now, especially since Microsoft is seeing that they cannot make all their money on the Xbox brand console anymore. They have to expand through streaming services, rental services, expanding on the PC. They're doing these things because they're not viable in the console market anymore. Even with all these streaming services in the future, PlayStation's still probably gonna stand tall for a while because their consoles sell. The PlayStation console has a rich history of breaking records. And I don't even fucking care about PlayStation. I'm just giving you something to compare it to here, Colt. Because when you're looking at Microsoft's competitor, oh sorry, I mean they're not their competitor, Microsoft's too good for that. Which, by the way, Colt, if Microsoft is no longer competing with PlayStation as you say, then I expect you to not be doing comparisons between the two anymore. But when we're looking at Sony, we can clearly see they have the majority of the console market and Microsoft doesn't. So Microsoft's source of revenue is quite limited. And so the Xbox brand itself, it's not this prestige name anymore. It doesn't carry with it a wide list of exclusives like Halos and Gears that tether people to the box. Instead, the Xbox name is such a throwaway thing that they want to put it on phones now, because they'll make more money there than they will with the console itself. And instead of looking at it objectively and seeing that Microsoft really let down their consumer base, Colt wants to just walk around that and say it was a few missteps. A few missteps, Colt? They had to sell the Xbox at a loss. They had to sell the Xbox One X at a loss. They didn't meet the criteria they wanted. The Xbox One didn't sell anywhere near the same numbers as the Xbox 360. If you're not concerned about any of these things, then hey, more power to you, I guess. I don't know what you're drinking or smoking, but I would like to partake of it, please. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. No, not Colt's. No, fuck no. I mean mine. I do apologize if you nearly died hearing some of the stupidity that was in that video. But if you did enjoy what you saw today, then I suggest you know, head over to my Patreon, maybe throw $1 or $2, send a nude my way, offer me some sex toys. I don't complain, as long as you're 18. Anyways, before I go, very important news. The Corporate Slave Awards are right around the corner, and we've got our candidates. The only thing that's missing is your guys' vote. So immediately following this video, I will be posting the name of the candidates on my YouTube feed, and you will be able to vote there. So prepare yourselves, because I'm gonna have a lot of special guests and we're gonna have a good old time. And until then, Papa Frit will be seeing all of you and your gorgeous sexy faces. I don't know, maybe in the next few days. My back hurts, my dick is itchy, my anus hurts, and my popsicle stick's a little sore. But other than that, I'll be seeing you again very soon.
Everything I do is just too sweet.